What's going on, guys? What's cracking again? Back here for another video for y'all, drinking an ice cold Keystone. If you're new to this, yes, I'm always drinking a Keystone. That's just kind of my thing. Today's video is plain and simple, right in the video. The new Viper, or the latest new Viper, the Gen 5 Viper, in my opinion, is the new Supra. And someone right up that's gonna be like, it's not Japanese, it's a V10, it's American made. Ryan, they're nothing alike at all. Like, nothing about them, they're made by different, they're nothing alike at all. Well, I'm here today to explain why it is the new Supra pretty much. So right off the bat, you guys probably noticed in the background, this is my personal Supra, and then I am building one for my wife also. So to say that I'm a Supra lover would be an understatement. So for me to say this, you're probably already thinking, well, if you like Supra so much, why are you saying the new Viper is the new Supra? Well, in my opinion, there's a bunch of new things going on, and seeing what the cars are doing and the way they're progressing is why I feel like they're the new Supra. So a little background story on my car, it is a T56 Magnum built rear end, stock Betterman 2JZ car, big single turbo, the typical build, except maybe the T56 Magnum's a little bit out of the ordinary. It's a Joel Grandis built T56 setup. These cars work, man. They were great from, I would say, the late 1990s up until the last couple of years. I would say they stopped really showing their true dominance around 2014, 2015, especially in the road racing area. When underground racing became big, these guys kind of lost the king of the streets when it came to road racing. Dig racing and stuff, they were still king. When it came to that, for the Japanese side, they were just a great all-around car. You know, there's other V8 cars doing things better, but at the same time, these cars did it all, you know. It was just very easy to make a lot of big power and not have to worry about it. Well, the Viper has kind of taken that over. So you're probably asking yourself, well, okay, Ryan, explain to me why. Well, here's how I feel. If you guys have not known or not paying attention to the internet lately, 1320, that racing channel, whoever, look at all the videos out there in street racing. What are they showing lately? Gen 5 Viper, Gen 5 Viper, Gen 5 Viper, or any Viper really. They have just been killing it, mostly because of Calvo Motorsports and Nth Moto. Those two guys twin turboing the Gen 5 Vipers have really revolutionized that platform and made them come to the forefront. Me personally, even a couple years ago, I was always like, screw Vipers, they're not that great. I don't see the point in them to get this big V10. They don't really sound that good until you twin turbo them. They sound amazing. Now, the Gen 5s I have heard, and they do sound really, really good, or if you put a big cam, but they don't have a typical V10 sound. So they don't sound like a Lamborghini, a Ferrari, anything like that. They don't have that higher. They have a big, lopey V8 noise, but with an extra 2 cylinders. So it doesn't sound like a V8, but it doesn't sound like a V10. It's got this weird in-between sound, and it's a pushrod motor. So it is definitely different. A lot of people don't realize too, it is an aluminum block too. It's a cast aluminum block, it's not billet of course, but it's a cast aluminum block, so they aren't that heavy. It is front engine, rear wheel drive, 6-speed manual transmission, and until recently, they didn't come with many bells and whistles. You know, up until they were forced to, and I believe 2001, when they were forced to put ABS in, the cars had no ABS, no traction control, no nothing. I mean, they were a stripped down, they were supposed to be like a race car, and they were badass cars, and they still are. But the ability to make a bunch of big power with them as of recently has been probably the biggest thing for them. Again, I'll go ahead and try to flip up a couple of the cars here that Calvo Motorsports and Nth Moto have built. They are just on another level. You know, stock motor builds are doing 1,300 wheel horsepower with a stock transmission, stock rear end. Now, the only downside is you have to end up running Motec or some type of standalone system. The stock ECU apparently just has some weird glitches, something with the one sensor in it. Even if you go up above, I was talking to the guys at Pro Speed about this. One of the sensors kind of throws things off and it just doesn't like it. Even for them, they do have a setup with HP tuners where you can tune it with their supercharged F1X kit. But to a point, they said, their 750 package, it's okay. But if you live in somewhere like even Colorado, they said it won't even work for that. Something with one of the sensors throws it off. I'm not sure if it's something coming with the air, a barometer meter. I'm not really sure, so please bear with me on that one. But they just have like these little weird nuances about them. So you have to almost go standalone off the bat, which is just like a Supra. I mean, we can do a piggyback, but they don't really work all that great. You can do the alphabet soup from back in the day, which was something the guys used to do in the 90s. But in today's day and age, you have to go standalone right off the bat, unless you want to do all that. And it just ends up being more headache than it's worth. So you either have to put A Infinity, again, Motec, Pro A5, something of that nature to get these cars going. So again, just like the Viper, you have to do something like that. Now, the one thing I will say they don't have going for them as of right now is user-friendly to build. You're very limited. So unlike the Supra, which is a very low production car, worldwide, they only sold 44,000. The Gen 5 Viper makes this seem like it's a Honda Civic. They only ever sold a little over 2,000 Gen 5 Vipers worldwide. That's it. And I think they only sold a total of 40-some thousand Vipers since day one till now, till whatever. I believe it was 2017 was the last year for the Viper in general. So I mean, those cars in general, they just never sold a lot of. A lot were wrecked or totaled. So there's not many of them out there, especially the Gen 5s. So the price of those things are going up, up, up. And that, again, I compare that to the Supra. These cars are just worth a good bit of money. Although they've gotten stagnant here lately. They had their big resurgence last year and they were going through the roof, what they were worth. And now we're seeing that with the Viper. I mean, we're seeing non-GTS cars, just SRT and base model Vipers, especially Gen 5s, close to $100,000. And to me, that's just, it's insane what they're going for. Just a year, 2 years ago, they weren't getting anywhere close to that. I mean, there's a reason why Dodge stopped selling them. Again, with these, they were just so much money and no one was buying them. They brought a muscle car to an era where people were starting to get into clutches. It just wasn't what the market really wanted. $120,000, 6-speed manual, big V10 car. Apparently no one really wanted, especially in that market. You're competing with Porsche. And if we're being honest, Porsche just does it better. Is it a great car? And I really like it, but Porsche still, again, just does it better. When it comes to the Supra also, it was a little bit ahead of its time. And what I mean by that is the way it looked and did things. So, I mean, the car was just, it was new, it was better. Had a 6-speed manual transmission. Not only was it a 6-speed manual, but the transmission that came in from the GetDrag V160 was amazing. It was bulletproof. The driveline was bulletproof. And that's kind of like how the Viper is. I wouldn't say technology-wise, it's so far advanced, it actually kind of blasé in that area, but the strength of everything, the diff, the axles, everything about it is very, very strong. I think the axles were give out first, and I've heard about the transmission not holding as much as it should. Again, there's way more torque involved. Like that transmission in my car would literally last forever. 3-liter versus an 8.4 liter. So totally different ball game, so much more torque involved, but it's still a very bulletproof car to an extent. It's hard to get that bang for the buck in other vehicles, especially with a manual transmission. Like, to me, that is the epitome. This is it. That is the end all be all. It is the last of the last true feedback with a manual, the way it makes you feel. The new Supra doesn't have that. It just doesn't. It doesn't even feel like a new Supra. I actually like the new Supra, by the way. I think it's a cool car. Don't think it's a Supra because it's not a GT car, but it's still a very cool car. And it's neat for what it is, but it's not these cars and it's not a Viper. It's just a totally different animal. And on top of it too, the new Viper, or actually I should say the last gen Viper, I'm not sure about the other ones. They also have double wishbone suspension like the Supra does. They're great handling cars. I believe the Viper ACR still holds a few of the track records out there, and it has been gone now for 3 years. On top of that, it is a heavy car. I think it weighs like 3,400, 3,500 pounds. It's a big front nose heavy car, but it still handles well. The Viper ACR E, I believe, still holds the record out there in California. So it's a cool car. I'm probably coming off you like, well, Ryan, are you gonna get to the point here? I just think they're a cool car. I think they're able to compete with all the big boys. If you watch any of the guys racing on YouTube and stuff, they're beating GTRs with the big power. They're beating Lamborghinis, all with a manual transmission. Now, a lot of the guys have a manual. What I mean by that is they do still have a clutch, but they all have like a PPG sequential or something of that nature in the car. So when you pull in the gears, it's bang, bang, bang. You still have to manually do it, although they do have a new air shift setup I saw that Calvo released. But it's still, it's a manual transmission at the end of the day. You still have to go through it. But a lot of guys are still running a TR6060 and beating the gears and beating the crap out of them. They're holding up really, really well with a big twin turbo kit on it. I did learn though with them, like Supras and stuff. They like twin turbos, but they don't like to be supercharged. Apparently the snout has issues. Now apparently this was a big issue on the 1s through 4. 5 is supposedly stronger, but I have seen a couple posts where guys have snapped them off. So for me, I always thought a supercharged one would be really cool, but after seeing that and what it costs to fix it, I'm like, that just doesn't, after it's all said and done, you've been better off just going turbo, because you're looking at 25, 30 grand to fix all that. And you already invested 20 grand to 25 grand in the supercharged setup with a Motec, and then you snap the snout off. That would suck. I wanted to make this quick. I'm not even sure how long this video is gonna be. I was out here in the garage. I'm like, I just have to talk about this. This is something I've been wanting to talk about. I wanted feedback from you guys. The new Viper is the new Supra. Period, end of story, in my opinion. It is the new king of the streets in that aspect, especially roll racing. That's where these cars really got their name. With roll racing and stuff with TX2K, and then drag racing too. I know there's a couple drag racing cars out there. Will Douglas's Juggernaut, which is insanely cool. We know we have Pro Speeds, the Purple Monster. I'm not sure what the actual name for that car, but I just think it looks the Purple Monster. Both those cars are absolutely insane. They're gonna be cutting some serious times and a stock trim form almost. So I want some feedback, guys. What do you think of the Viper? What's your opinion on it? I think it's the next car for me. I personally, it'd be really hard to part with this, but man, a Gen 5 Viper is looking really, really good. I prefer a GTS. But I could even settle for an SRT if need be. And again, guys, let me know down in the comments, what do you think? Is the new Viper the new Supra? Is it overrated? Is it really not that great? Is it just another Dodge car? Is FCA screwing things up? Should they bring the Viper back? What's your opinion, guys? What do you think? Let me know down in the comments. Thank you guys very much, and I'll talk to you later. Cheers.